Hey, thanks for joining me. This video is going to focus on what you need to know about youth football tryouts for your kids. This video is right now being filmed or videoed at the late May of 2018. So in the next month or so, we'll start seeing youth football tryouts for most of the local youth football teams. So you as a parent, what do you need to know for you and your kids before they want to try out for youth football? You can find more information on this subject and many more football related subjects that are helpful for parents and kids at gofootball.com. GEAUX, gofootball.com. Check it out. So, first thing we need to know for parents, where are you going to sit during youth football tryouts and practices? All right. So, assuming your kid is going to make the team, you're going to be out there many long hours. We live in the South here in Louisiana, and you're talking about, very hot, very humid outside, still 5:30 or so, about 5:30, I believe, when football practice would start, when you give parents time to get home from work. But load up, go out there, and it's going to be hot. So keep that in mind. So where are you going to sit? You're going to need some sort of nice lawn chair. Maybe you're going to sit in the back of your pickup truck. That's going to be probably hot and uncomfortable. So you probably need a folding chair, like in one of those bags. You can get those from Walmart and places like that. All right. So now if your kid makes the team, again, you're going to be spending a lot of hours outside watching football practice. All right. These usually don't happen until people get home from work and summer hours. We have daylight savings time, so it doesn't get dark till later. It's still going to be very hot, at least in the south, right, where we're from. It was always very hot. So you'll need a good lawn chair. You're also going to need some sort of water bottle, at least for you. Maybe an ice chest, maybe a big drink, big drink with ice before you head out to the football field. You may even need some type of water bottles in your own vehicle, Gatorades, water bottles, something like that. Water, on ice for your kid as they come off the field. Now, hopefully, your parents, your coaches will have plenty of hydration, plenty of water out there at football practice, but you're going to probably want some kind of small ice chest. You always have at least some water bottles, Gatorades, things like that when they get off the practice field, and too, because you're going to get hot out there. All right. It's you may need some sunglasses, some sunblock, and heat. And again, we're talking about in the South, at least my experiences with my family, it was very hot. So that was always something you just have to deal with, and you have to deal with that in the South. You're used to it. All right. Some parents, some families bring little shade tents out to the football field. So you may want to do that. Those little pup tent things that cost $120, something like that, and bring your own shade. And that way you can have a little shaded area. You can put your chairs underneath there, especially if you have smaller kids that can't practice and you're watching them, or however, whatever you're going to do. So that may even be worth something looking into. Now those are kind of hard to put up by yourself, but if you have two of you out there, you have a friend, and you can take turns or help each other set it up every day, it might very well be worth it. All right, so you might want to look into that. All right, and if your kid does make the football team, the youth football team, it's going to be a big commitment for you and your whole family. So just keep that in mind. But some of the really good things about this, at least for my family's experiences, and I'm always giving you what I know based on my experiences as being a member of a local youth football organization. We met a lot of people. We did not grow up, or did not grow up in the city where I live now. I grew up in a town about 5-10 miles over. And so I didn't really know any people out here. So many of the people that I know here in this city where we have now lived for 20 years, we met through the youth football organization, and we made some really good friends out there. And so if you want to meet new people and want to make new friends, the youth football organization is a great way to meet friends, and it's really fun watching your kids play and practice and things like that. All right. A couple other things you need to look at for as a parent. If you have girls, many of the youth football programs have a cheer team. All right. They get the moms to be the cheer coaches. And so youth football organizations, many of them, again, have cheer teams. Does your youth football program have a cheer team? Do you have a daughter She didn't want to just go out there and sit and watch little brother practice football every single day. Our big brother practice football every day. So here's a picture of my kids. My daughter was able to be on the cheer team. At the time, she was too young to be a cheerleader, so she was the mascot. And they were yellow jackets, and so she had a little yellow jacket, kind of like a bumblebee type outfit on, but she was that were the yellow jackets. So she was a mascot for a couple of years. So she got to participate, and so it was for the whole family. And eventually, the second year we were involved in the program, I became one of the coaches with the team that my son was playing on. I was an assistant coach, and my wife also got involved as one of the cheer coaches, and she made great friends on the cheer team as well. All right. Another thing you want to look at, make sure your football coaches are well qualified. And one of the most important things you need to worry about here is are proper tackling techniques being taught for the boys whenever they start hitting and their contact? Is there proper tackling techniques? And for the most part, the most important thing here is boys keeping their heads up, seeing what they hit. All right. So the boys never want to put their head down and try to bang somebody with their head or use their head as a weapon. They always want to have their heads up, their face mask up when they're going forward for that contact. So that is extremely important. And if your coach doesn't know what you're talking about, if you ask them about this, then there's definitely a problem. They'd be concerned. So hopefully, nearly all these football coaches will know about this, because if the boy's head is down, and they're trying to use their head as like a battering ram or something like that, and they put their head down and they like bulldoze with using their head, what happens potentially is a risk of a spinal injury. All right, so always keep your head there. They need to always keep their heads up, see what they hit, so to speak. And there's also a movement for youth football, heads up training. So just make sure that your coaches say something about that whenever the boys start hitting and showing them how to tackle properly. All right. Again, on the bottom here, my website is gofootball.com. Articles on these things there at gofootball.com. GEAUX football. Something for the players. Another thing for the players, they'll need to have good football cleats to grip the practice field. Are you practicing on or grass? Now, more than likely, if it's a youth team, they're going to have a nice turf field to practice on. More than likely, this is going to be in some local park or something like that. Just highly unlikely that your child will be practicing for a youth football team on a turf field. Now, it is possible, but more than likely it's going to be grass. And what they're going to need is some nice shorts, t-shirts for tryouts, things like that. And later on, if they make the team, depending on how many kids are trying out for the team, or if your organization has a roster limit that they have to go by, then they'll be given a practice uniform. Some organizations have their own practice pants, helmets, shoulder pads, things like that. Other organizations may not have the funds or may not be as fortunate to have their own materials and things like that. So just depending on what your organization has, you may have to go out and buy your own shoulder pads. Possibly, you just don't know. It just depends on the different situation for the different programs. The youth program that we were a part of was pretty well established. They had practice pants, they had shoulder pads, they had helmets, and there was very few things that the parents had to go buy on their own. Now, some parents obviously want to go get something better for their kid. They may go buy their own helmet or things like that. It just depends on your situation. All right. So all of these things would vary from organization to organization, but obviously first your kids got to make the team first, and once they do, then I'm sure the coaches and organization leaders will let the parents know what they need to do. All right. Again, lots of this stuff at gofootball.com. So if you want to find out more information about these kind of things that I'm talking about right here for your kids playing football, maybe for the first time, whether it's youth team, middle school team, or even their own high school team. Some kids don't even try out for football until the first time, until they decide they want to try to play in high school. All right. So I have all kind of articles about these things, maybe what kind of position your kid should try to play in football, different size, body types, and things like that lend themselves to being more of one's position than other types of positions on the football field. So all kinds of information like this at my website, gofootball.com. You can see a picture here on the slide of my family when we were involved with the youth football organization. Now my kids are older now. My son just graduated high school, just finished a successful season as a senior football player. And my daughter has gone on to be a dancer. She just made the high school dance team. She'll be going into high school next year. But our time as a family together, making new friends and participating in youth football was a very special and happy time for us. So I highly recommend that you pursue that with you and your family. Just make sure you know what to expect. And again, check out my website, gofootball.com, for many more articles and things like this that are meant to help you. Thanks for joining me, and good luck to you and your family.